Melbourne-based singing quartet The Escorts produced two members of the #1 Australian group of the late 60s, Athol Guy on the left and Keith Potker on the right. They got together with Judith Durham and Bruce Woodley and created The Seekers.
This train and bound for glory, this train. This train and bound for glory, this train. This train and bound for glory, don't carry none but the rights and the holy. This train and bound for glory, this train.
It was a ship, not a train, which would take the Seekers to glory. They performed on the Fair Sky for passage money to England. Arriving in the UK, they recorded the song, which made #1 in Australia and England and #4 in America. It was easy sailing to another 9 hits before the close of the decade.
There's a new world somewhere they call the promised land, and I'll be there someday if you will hold my hand. I still need you there beside me, no matter what I do, for I know I'll never find another you.
The sky was the limit for the Seekers. In 1967, the title song from the film Georgie Girl sold over 3 million copies. Still today, one of the biggest selling international singles by an Australian group or artist.
On board the liner Fair Star was the venue for the presentation of this year's Logie Awards for Australian television. The obvious winners of the Logie for the promotion of Australian talent overseas were the Seekers.
Hey there, Georgie girl.
In the early 60s, folk music stepped out of the coffee bars onto the world charts. The Seekers got together on the Melbourne folk circuit and they sailed to England in 1964. They had talent and they were lucky enough to link up with astute international management. The combination put them on the world charts and kept them there for the next 3 years. By 1968, several of the group felt enough was enough. Without fuss, the Seekers disbanded.
Bring out all the love you hide, and oh, what a change there'd be. The world would see a new Georgie girl. Come on, Georgie girl. Wake up, Georgie girl. Georgie girl.
Bobby and Laurie's I Belong With You was a turning point for the Melbourne rock and pop scene, even though success outside of Melbourne was limited. The duo were battling for the #1 spot on the charts against another Melbourne group, the Seekers, who had also started out in the local rock and roll scene. The Seekers' success was not in rock and roll, but in folk, and with the addition of jazz singer Judith Durham, the group was soon to hit the big time in London. I'll Never Find Another You was to be the group's first international #1 hit.
We became part of that sort of evolutionary move in the music business. And when our young Aussie mates looked at what we'd done, they go, if they can do it, surely we can.